Kurumi Tokasaki was born as an ordinary human girl. Well, not quite ordinary, as she was the daughter of a rich family. This family had it good, and above all, a beautiful young daughter that was loved so very deeply by her parents. Now, we don't know exactly how old Kurumi was when these next events took place, but one day whilst returning home from presumably school, the young Kurumi was attacked out of nowhere by a monster. It looked like the end for her, but she was saved by a girl who wore a dress that radiated a blinding light. The girl killed the monster, stood before Kurumi and introduced herself as Mio Takamiya, an ally of justice, a self-proclaimed title of course. This ally of justice then proceeded to explain to Kurumi that the monster who attacked her was in fact called a spirit, before asking Kurumi if she would like to have her own power, just like hers, so that she could help Mio in her fight against the spirits. Kurumi, a girl who was, considered pure of heart, whose drive and determination was to protect her family and friends. She was a person with a really strong sense of justice, who hated the inequality of the world, and who also possessed a strong desire to help those who were in need, accepted the Sephira crystal from Mio that contained Zafkiel and bonded with it, thus unknowingly turning herself into a spirit. Now teamed up with Mio, the two worked together in hunting down spirits, with Kurumi racking up a kill count of around 50 spirits at this time. This leads us to the day that changed everything for Kurumi. An average normal day would see Kurumi leaving Mio with her usual task of cleaning up the body of a spirit they had just killed. However, this day Kurumi decided to turn back and invite Mio to come over to her best friend Sawa's house with her, to which Mio accepted. Now, the reason why she decided to do this was because Mio was a person that had an aura of pensive sadness surrounding her, someone who seemed to be suffering from a severe form of depression. And her friend Sawa had a cat that Kurumi thought would snap Mio out of this state, if just for a while. However, as she walked up to Mio, Kurumi entered a state of intense horror as the body of the monster laying on the ground was actually her best friend Sawa laying dead, as Mio held on to a red Sephira crystal. Kurumi's despair deepened, and quickly, as she realized Sawa was the spirit that Kurumi herself had just slain, things started spiraling out of control and Kurumi began to inverse. However, in the nick of time, Kurumi used her fourth bullet on herself before she had completely inverted, reversing time, stopping the transformation and returning to the moment before she started to become overwhelmed by her despair. It was then that Mio revealed the truth about her identity as the first spirit and her plan, which was to have the Sephira crystals bond with humans that would then turn them into monsters that Mio would kill, and then retrieve the Sephira crystals that would have slowly refined after having a host. The detail she didn't entrust to Kurumi was her motive behind all of this. After this, Mio thanked a horrified Kurumi for all her work thus far before causing Kurumi to black out. Kurumi woke up in a giant crater after causing a spatial quake sometime later, with absolutely no memory whatsoever other than the knowledge of how her powers worked, only to find that an AST team was bearing down on her preparing to attack. Kurumi managed to flee the scene in her own shadows, and using the power of her 10th bullet was able to regain all of her memories. It was in that moment that she swore to use her 12th bullet to travel back in time to both kill Mio for the betrayal of taking advantage of her once pure heart and to prevent the existence of spirits from ever happening. Kurumi went on to create many clones of herself, which created a huge information network. Now, the downside to her plan was that in order for her to gather enough time to use her 12th bullet, Kurumi and her clones had to prey on humans. Because they had taken so many human lives, they had gained the unwanted attention of DEM, who sent out Mana Takamiya after her. Kurumi and Mana had fought many times, with the outcome always being that Mana killed Kurumi. However, unknown to Mana was that they were only clones of Kurumi that she had been killing. At an unknown point in time, Phantom appeared before Kurumi and alerted her about the existence of a certain individual named Shido Itsuka, along with the amount of spirit mana that was stored within his body. With Kurumi unable to confirm or deny if this was true, she traveled to Raisin High School to find out for herself, and the rest, you can say, is Data Live Season 1 onwards. But thanks for watching my video looking into the origins and the tragedy of Kurumi Tokasaki.